Hello, my name is Vanessa Murat and I go to Amateur Water Race. I have recently interviewed 3 people about 9/11. Ethane Murat, my mother, Luke Murat, my father, and Tina Buccellato, my aunt, were interviewed. The attacks of September 11, 2001 not only forever changed the history of America, but the history of the world as well. As the anniversary approaches, it is important to explore the facts and some of the effects of this monumental event in U.S. history. It is equally important to remember that there are a gathering of personal stories, personal histories, if you will, sometimes remembered and sometimes forgotten, of the everyday people who lived through them. This is where history is also written.
Hi, my name is Tina Buccellato, and I'm Vanessa Murat's aunt.
Hi, I'm Ethane Murat, Vanessa's mom.
My name is Luke Murat. I'm Vanessa's father, and I'm here to talk about 9/11.
What were you doing at the time, and what were your first reactions?
Oh wow, I had just had a baby, your cousin, Savannah. She was about 2 months old, and being that I'm from New York, I was watching the news, the Today Show, and I saw that a plane had hit the Twin Towers, which I'm very familiar with, and I was in shock. I mean, we didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if it was some accident, a plane hit a building. It was just, we were very confused. But I was changing my baby at the time. That's what I was doing.
Well, I had just finished up a class and I walked into the atrium of FIU, which is where I took the class, and everybody was staring at the television and there was a plane flying into the first tower. And my reaction was confusion, really. I really didn't know what was going on at that point.
At the time of the Twin Towers going down, I was at work. It was early in the morning, and someone rushed into the office and said that a plane had hit one of the Twin Towers. We had a TV in our break room, and we all rushed in there. We saw the second plane hit the second Twin Tower, and during that time, the news station had a clip of George W. Bush reading to kids in Florida. I knew it was something wrong when the Secret Service or someone whispered to his ear, and his facial reaction was alarming.
Did you have?
Well, by that time I had gotten home, and of course I turned on the news and I realized that the second plane had now hit the tower, and I realized that we were literally under attack. That's literally what I thought. My brother is in the Navy, and he was in the Navy at the time, and I come from a military background family, so I immediately thought about that. I thought about, but who were we under attack about? I wasn't sure about that. I didn't know, but I knew that America was under attack at that point.
What was the rest of the day like for you?
The rest of the day was very chaotic. My main concern was the safety of my family. My mom is one of 5 sisters, 4 of them live in New York, and my dad is one of 3 brothers, and 2 of them live in New York. So my day was just chaotic and trying to get contact with family members, friends, and co-workers.
Wow, it was very difficult. I have family in New York. My mom lives in New York. My brother's NYPD. So it was very somber. We were sad. We didn't know what was going on. Information was coming in as the day progressed. So the more we knew, the more scared we were. But it was very difficult. It was sad. I mean, we were in a place where we were feeling unsafe and everybody was shut down. So it was a moment of fear. It was really difficult.
What are the images that stayed in your mind from that day?
A couple of images stay in my mind from that day. I still have nightmares about it. First is the second plane hitting the Twin Tower. Seeing the people in the street with masks on and dust of clouds all over the streets of New York, and also the tumbling down of the towers.
Do you think the events of 9/11 changed our history, and if so, how?
The events of 9/11 definitely changed our history. It was the largest foreign attack on American soil since Pearl Harbor. In Pearl Harbor, we lost over 2,000 people, and for 9/11, we lost nearly 3,000 lives. It was a very sad time in American history.
Is an important lesson to remember today when recalling the events of 9/11.
Today, I would say that community is important because New York showed how community got together and took care of one another. And I feel that we forget a lot of times what community can do through good times and through bad times. And as a two-part answer, if I may, Vanessa, I also believe that we have to realize how life is short and things are unpredictable. So we should value every day as we have it. That would be how I feel about that.
15 years later, what do you want to say about September 11th?
The events of September 11th opened up our eyes on the evilness of the world. And what that made us, it made us a lot stronger as a nation to combat the evil forces. One thing that stood out was we had an NFL player that played for Arizona, and he enlisted himself after September 11th to the Army. And then he passed away while he was in the Army.
What I would say is that we can't forget. You know, I know that's their motto, we'll never forget, but we can't forget that, you know, terrorism still exists. However, love is love, and we have to live our life. We can't allow terrorists to dictate how we live, but we can't forget that it still exists. And this is our world, and we live in it. And as a community, again, we should bind together, be strong, and be proud of our country and live forward.
15 years later, what I want to say about September 11 is that I'm very proud to be an American, and I'm very proud to live on American soil. Although we do have domestic issues here within our nation, I still believe that united we stand and divided we fall.
I gladly thank all the people who I interviewed today. What I've learned after interviewing these three people is that 9/11 was a major attack. I personally didn't live through 9/11, so I didn't really understand the full details of what really went on. After hearing everyone's story, they made me believe and feel like I was there. Hearing about how the terrorist attack was worse than Pearl Harbor shocked me. Also hearing from my father how the president was here in Florida reading books to little kids had an effect to me because he was in my home state while all of this was going on. After picturing all the images in my head of what everyone said had a tremendous effect on me, hoping that a terrorist attack like this won't happen again.